What's going on there, guys? Welcome back to a special episode of the Craftavore Tastes for St. Patrick's Day. So anybody who's watching there today, happy St. Patrick's Day. And obviously, there's only one beer that we could actually review on St. Patrick's Day, and that is none other than, of course, Guinness. But today's review is actually going to be Guinness Extra Stout. Yeah, we're going to just bump it up a little bit here and go and review Guinness Extra Stout. So what's the difference between, your regular kind of Guinness draft and then Guinness Extra Stout? Well, a couple of different things. One, increased amount of ABV. I think this one sits at, just about 5.6% ABV. If I'm not mistaken, I think the Guinness draft is somewhere around 4.2, 4.3. So obviously a little bit more ABV. And then as well as from what I hear, because believe it or not, shame on me, I've actually never had the Extra Stout, is that it is just what the name suggests it would be. Nice creamier kind of mouthfeel, potentially a little bit more aromatic. I believe there's more hop additions or more dry hopping done within the recipe. But mostly it's about kind of like a bit more of a heavier creamer kind of mouthfeel going on with this beer. So yeah, super stoked to dive into it. Let's go and get straight into the drill. Yeah, so let's go ahead and pop a cap on this guy, 22-ounce bomber. Pour it into the glass, take a look at the appearance, get the aroma, taste it, and of course we're gonna rate it. All right, so let's go ahead, pop a cap on that guy, pour it straight into the glass. Tilt that a little bit so I can manage the head. So I'm actually never able to do. Always pour. Beer's horribly on camera. It's kind of my MO. And pour that one equally as pour. So obviously, how does the beer look? So she actually pours, as imagine what you would think, right? Full on typical Guinness jet black. Actually, what's interesting is if you kind of put it up just a little bit to the light, I almost feel that there's a little bit more kind of reddish, kind of brownish hues going on in some spaces. A little bit more so than I'm kind of traditionally used to just out of the regular Guinness kind of draft. So that's kind of interesting. Obviously, multiple fingers of, just kind of this kind of tan, kind of mocha kind of head. Looks awesome, kind of hanging around, as you would imagine it should. Looks like a Guinness. All right, so let's dive our nose into it and get an aroma. Smells like a Guinness. All right, so obviously aromatics that you're getting out of this beer is roast coffee, roasted malts, a little bit of kind of chocolate going on, kind of a little bit of a like residual kind of sweetness, even kind of areas in terms of dark fruits, right? So like perhaps like maybe like, I don't know, kind of like deep plums or dates or something like that. But yeah, it's mostly kind of roasty chocolate, roasted malts, roasted coffee, with a little bit of kind of dark fruits layering it. Just what you would think a Guinness would smell like. All right, so it smells pretty awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into it and get a taste, and we'll see how she is. I'm going to probably pronounce this incorrectly. Sláinte. Cheers. Tastes like a Guinness. But first thing that you note from the Extra Stout, if you're kind of used to Guinness, is obviously the beer is not on nitro, doesn't contain that widget. It's a 22-ounce bottle. But what you kind of miss from that kind of overall kind of silkiness that you'll get out of a traditional kind of Guinness nitro pour is heavier increase in terms of the mouthfeel and the creaminess of the overall beer. So there's significantly kind of more complex body to the Extra Stout than you're getting out of the draft. In terms of the taste, extremely similar in the sense that perhaps maybe a little bit more of those hops or that dry hopping is coming out a little bit. It does have a slight bit more pronounced bitterness. But I really like that bite. The one thing about Guinness is that the body is kind of super medium light, right? The nitro just kind of provides a bit of a silkiness and kind of a bit of creaminess, fully kind of dries out. This is slightly kind of different where you're getting a bit more kind of impact from hops coming up front in the palate. It still sits really super nice like a Guinness does, but there is a bit more kind of hop aggressiveness that's coming out of the beer, leading to just a longer sustaining bitterness that you're getting from this beer than you would just your traditional kind of Guinness draft. All right, tastes awesome. Absolutely. And so also followed in with all of those kind of traditional kind of Guinness notes, right? Roasted malts, roasted coffee, a little bit of chocolate going on there on the back end. And like I said, a little kind of twinge of maybe kind of like dark fruits. All right, so let's go ahead and give this guy a rating, man. What can I say? So Guinness Extra Stout here for St. Patrick's Day. Can't really drink any other beer on St. Patrick's Day, right? So like, what am I going to give this beer? Straight up right out of the gate, it's a 3.75 cap beer. It's really, really nice. I do like having Guinness from time to time when I'm out. It's actually pretty much a go-to for me if I'm ending up meeting someone at a bar that does not have really any craft options. Usually more than not, at least in my neck of the woods, you'll likely find Guinness on tap. And so I'll always go for a Guinness if I catch myself in a place where I don't have a tremendous amount of options. And obviously for St. Patrick's Day, you can't drink any other beer. All right, so 3.75 caps for the Craftavore taste for the Guinness Extra Stout. That'll do it for this episode. Hope you join me again for another episode where I drink, I review, I rate, and then I repeat. Happy St. Patrick's Day, guys. Cheers.